What is your opinion of jazz music in general?
My opinion of jazz music in general, I think that it is both the hardest genre of music to play and the most important genre of music to learn how to play, to be able to play other genres, because I think it's good.
Talk more about it.
Talk more about it. Let's see.
Why do you think it's the hardest?
It takes a lot of listening to others, and like in larger ensembles and stuff, you can get away with, you know, just kind of playing your own part and listening a little bit. But you know, especially in a jazz combo like is here, you really have to communicate with the other players and listen closely, and everybody contributes a little bit, and it's a pretty good deal.
Why did you choose to play jazz?
Because, in my humble opinion, it is cooler than any other music that I came across, and I wanted to be able to learn it and play it because I enjoy listening to it.
What is your favorite kind of music?
I would say my favorite kind of music is jazz.
And do you play here regularly?
I do, almost every week.
Are the jazz groups paid to play here?
Yes, but the people who just walk on, like myself, I don't get paid. I mean,
Is the pay good?
No, of course not. Nobody wants to listen to jazz anymore. This is not representative of a jazz gig, but you know, it's a local bar in Gainesville. We're all students, and they pay the entire band a percentage of the bar tab at the end of the night, which is usually, you know, 3 to 4 cents. And so we save that as an organization. But you know, they give us a few free beers, and we get to play, and every now and then there's a good crowd, and so it's more than I can ask for, I guess.
Well, how do you think your opinion of jazz differs from a normal audience member who does not play jazz?
well, I think I have a little bit more appreciation for what the people are playing, because I know, like, I've been up there, and it's pretty scary for me, at least, because I'm pretty new at it. When you're improvising and there's no music to look off of, and there's just these guys playing, and you're listening to everything they're playing, and you try to add, you know, stuff to it, and it's you really appreciate it a lot more when you see people up there doing it.
Sorry. What instrument do you play?
Oh, I play tenor saxophone and clarinet, but in the jazz environment, I generally play tenor sax.
How long have you been playing the saxophone?
I've been playing since the 5th grade, so that's the 5th grade, the 6th grade, the 7th, the 8th, the 9th, the 10th, the 11th, the 12th, freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. 12 years.
12 years.
That's a long time.
It is a long time.
It is a long time.
So, how often do you come here?
Oh, I come here occasionally. I used to come pretty much every Thursday, but recently I've been kind of busy and sick, so I haven't been coming as often, but I don't know, I just want some good music playing. Sometimes I come bring my horn and play along with them.
What do you think about this location?
I think this location is a very good place to get experience playing jazz. And I mean, it's a really laid back spot. You know, sometimes there's people here, sometimes there aren't really that many, and it's just it's a good place to.
Would you say that this location, this performance setup, is similar to stuff you would find, say, the rest of Florida or the rest of where this kind of music is played?
It's definitely similar. I mean, the venue, I don't know, I guess I could call it that, might be a little bit bigger with some more people, but I mean, the fact that the gig kind of starts so late at night, and there's just people kind of wandering through and listening for a while, but yeah, it's very similar.
How do you think the stage setup influences audience-musician interactions?
Just the fact that, you know, they're kind of on the same level and just really close, and you can really see the musicians up close, and, you know, see the faces, see the reactions, and, you know, it's pretty easy to just talk to one of them. Those musicians are pretty friendly guys, actually.
You say you aren't very serious about jazz as a profession. Do you have any other jobs you work?
No, I'm a student, so that's kind of a job because they give me money to do that. But my main focus is my academic interests, which are in physics, and hopefully after school I'll be able to find a job in that.
You mentioned earlier that jazz was the coolest music you've heard before. Why do you say that?
I don't know. I'm kind of nerdy myself, and so I like cerebral, intellectual things. And I think you need to think. You don't need to think in order to listen to jazz, but it's very difficult to appreciate jazz at its deepest without thinking about it and sort of being a little geeky about it. And like you can really dig into jazz and like really feel it, whereas like other cool groovy genres like rock and roll or ska or you know, even salsa, like cool things like that, they're pretty deep, but they don't quite reach the sort of like, wow, this is totally like frying my brain and rocking my world. You know, that's what I like about jazz. That's what it does to me. So.
Would you say that the as you put it, the cerebralness of jazz has something to do with why it's not extremely popular in American culture?
That might have something to do with it. I mean, what they say that we got tired of jazz in like the 40s and 50s, and so it went over to France and Japan, and I don't know. I couldn't make any general statements about the popularity of jazz relating to its characteristics as individuals experience it, but yeah, it has something to do with it. You know, you can't really make a good pop jazz recording. I mean, you can listen to all of the so-called smooth jazz, and you know, it's pretty cool, like easy listening music. But all the stuff that I like about jazz has been taken away from it because it doesn't contribute to the popularity of it. So maybe there is something to that. That's why people don't like it.
What can you tell us about the act of improvisation?
The act of improvisation? I don't really know. It's spontaneous composition. It's a lot of bullshit. You know, like it's sort of a thing that you do, a thing that your body does. And so a lot of it is just you doing the same shit. It's like telling a story you've told before, but sort of lying about it.
Do you think it involves a lot of mental stimulation? Or does it take a lot of intellectual effort?
I think a good solo has a certain amount of intellectual effort in it, you know. You can get up there and you know, and it's like people be like, yeah, that's cool, but you're just, you know, jerking off on them. But if you listen to the real, you know, people I'm really into now, like Sonny Chris and Michael Brecker and Keith Jarrett, like they're really concentrating. They're really trying to express an emotion, and they're very open. You know, it's not like they have some referendum where they want to tell you something. It's sort of whatever happens, they'll create something out of it. And I think that takes a lot of concentration. You can't just sort of spit that out.
So what would you say about the difference between a jazz lead sheet and a written piece of classical music?
Well, the jazz lead sheet is a lot, is far more open, I guess. The jazz lead sheet has a melody and the chord structure, and then the musicians use that as a basis to build a piece upon. It's kind of like a playground, I guess, where you have a melody and then you kind of just get to, you know, mess around with how the tune goes. As far and there's a lot more room, I feel, for musicality, because most of the things that happen come from the situation rather than a previous practice session or a coordinated thing. It is part of the moment. Whereas a piece of classical music, you know, you practice the musicianship that goes into that, and not to say that one is better than the other or that one is harder than the other, but I feel like jazz is free enough to happen at the moment rather than, you know, have ties in the past.